Before performing this task, you must have completed all mandatory safety courses for this equipment, reviewed SOPs, and pre-task planning associated with this task, have the required PPE and tools, follow all of your facility's safety requirements, and monitor your safe work zone. Note, safety requirements will vary depending upon your facility and the region you are located. Make sure you are fully aware of and properly trained in all of the site-specific safety requirements.
This video will demonstrate the process of single-axis mastering a FANUC robot. In this video, a Global 1 controller was used. However, this procedure can be performed on any FANUC controller on any FANUC robot arm. This process will need to be done anytime a motor is changed or anytime power is lost on a single encoder. There are two faults that identify the robot needs to be mastered. These faults are viewed by pressing Menu, scrolling to Alarm or number 4, and pressing Enter. The first of the errors seen is a Servo 62 BZAL or Battery Zero alarm. Group 1 Axis 3 indicates that power was lost on Axis 3 encoder, or the motor or encoder were replaced on joint 3 and they need to be mastered. Searching through the alarm history or pressing F3, we can also see a second alarm, Servo 75 Pulse Not Established. These two alarms identify that the robot encoder lost power and the encoder counts were lost. With no pulse established, the axis needs to be remastered in order to identify and execute program paths and points. To reset these faults, press the Menu key, scroll down to 0 for Next, and press Enter. Scroll down to or press number 6 for System and press Enter. Press F1 Type. We should see Master Cal as one of the options. In this case, however, Master Cal isn't there, so it is necessary to scroll to Variables, number 2, and then press Enter. Scroll down to the variable $, Master, Enable. Notice that the Master Enable bit is set to 0. Set the bit high by pressing the numeric 1 key and then pressing Enter. Setting the bit high will make Master Cal appear in the Systems menu. Press the F1 key. Master Cal appears in the menu as option 3 now. Press Enter. In the Master Cal screen, press F3, Reset PCA, or Reset Pulse Coder Alarm. Pressing the key initializes a prompt. Press F4 Yes to reset the pulse coder alarm. Use the main disconnect or the cycle power option from the function menu to cycle power on the controller. Wait approximately 10 seconds before turning it back on. Now that the controller is booted back up, put the controller in T1 and turn the teach pendant on. Pull in the live man switch and press the reset button on the teach pendant. At this point, there should be no faults on the robot, and the robot should be able to be jogged in joint mode. Move the joint that needs to be mastered, in this case axis 3. Move the joint in the plus direction 10 to 15 degrees, and then minus 10 or 15 degrees. There is no maximum amount you need to jog the robot, but the motors must turn at least one full revolution in order to establish the pulse count. On a FANUC robot, joints 2 and 3 move together when moving joint 2. So when single-axis mastering joint 3, both joints 2 and 3 must be put in their mastering positions. Move joint 2 to its witness mark. Then move joint 3 to its witness mark. With the pre-mastering complete, the robot can now be mastered and calibrated. Return to the Master Cal screen and scroll to single-axis mastering. The default mastering values are for fixture mastering. To master to the 0 position, which is done in most cases, scroll to the joint that needs to be mastered and over to the Master Position column. Press the numeric 0 key, then press Enter. Scroll to the Select column, press the numeric 1 key and press Enter. To master the robot, press F5, Execute. Notice that the number in the status column changed from a 0 to a 2. A 2 in the status column indicates that the joint is now mastered. To calibrate the joint, press the previous key on the teach pendant. From the Master Cal screen, scroll down to Calibrate. Press Enter. A prompt will be generated to verify the operation. Press F4 Yes to calibrate the joint. The calibration offset values appear below in the window. Note that the joint value for joint 3 is 0. In this case, it should be the only value showing 0. This completes the single-axis mastering process, and now the robot should operate normally. For robots equipped with DCS software, the procedure for applying DCS parameters must also be completed. Thank you for watching.